Good day everyone, I'm Muse, this is Monster Train. Now, many of you might be wondering what Monster Train is exactly. The short answer, it's a deck building turn-based strategy game. The longer answer, this video. So let's jump straight in and see what we got. Now the game's literally just come out. I've spent about 68 hours, Steam said, playing the beta, but this is the first time I've really played with the game proper. So I've only got 2 of the 5 potential clans available. Oh, I see, you unlock spells, units summoned, so you unlock them over time by doing different things, that's cool. But to begin with, the deck that you build to play the game is based on 2 of the 5 different clans. Your primary clan and then your allied clan. And you'll mostly be playing with strategies from your primary clan and supplementing it with extra bits from the allied clan. So we've got the Hellhorns, aggressive demons. They are aggressive, they do like dealing damage much more than they like defending themselves most of the time. And they favour big spells and big effects, explosions, all that sort of thing. And then we've got the Awoken, who are of the Wildwood Forest. So they've got healers and big fat creatures that have got a lot of health and therefore benefit from the healing. And yeah, they're all round fun. They've got defense turn into attack with their spiky builds where the enemies throw themselves at you. So let's go random and see which one the game gives us to play as. Okay, final boss, Seraph the Temperate. We'll worry about them later. Although it did tell us their strategy. They're going to be weakening our units by the look of it, tempering the strength of them. So that might play into how we choose our strategy for the game. So, we are the Awoken, with the Hellhorn as our allied clan, which means we get this starting deck. We've got our champion, a unique unit that's always available in your first hand of any play, always costs 0, and will often define the strategy that you make. We've also got the starting cards, which for the Awoken are these healing spells, and for the Hellhorn are these torch spells that can deal direct damage to enemies. And then every deck starts off with 4 of these trained stewards, which are basic enemies. You can see that every card's got a cost in the top left corner. You've got a certain amount of resource called Ember every game that you can use to play spells on each turn. Pretty everything here, I think, except my champion costs 1, champion costs 0. Creatures also have attack and defense stats, so the amount of damage they do and the amount of damage they can take before they die. And it also just tells you what type of card you're looking at. So trained stewards are machines, torches and restores are both spells, and the sentient is a champion. So the first thing we want to do is upgrade our champion to determine the starting path we might be taking throughout the game. So we've got the explosive champion. Every time we heal them, they deal damage to an enemy. And we've got the cultivating champion, who will let you draw cards every time they're damaged. So you can see how both of these might play into the overall healing strategy of the Awoken, because if you're taking a lot of damage every turn, you're drawing a lot of healing spells that you can play, and maybe they'll have other effects as well that benefit you. But we'll start with explosive, I think, just to get some damage in. And let's see, we start with a bonus artifact. So we can either take our pyre, gaining 40 health. You'll see what that means momentarily. At the moment we've got 80 health. We could also take the infused mallet, which gives a 25% chance to deal 5 damage to any enemy when they enter your train. A lot of enemies in the game have less than 5 health, so being able to knock a few of those off here and there seems like a good move, so I'm going to take the infused mallet. And we'll get into our first fight and see how the game's actually played. So, the gathered clergy are our initial opponents. We've got to thin their numbers before they reach the pyre, which, as you might imagine, means there's lots of them, but they're not very strong. So you can see the basic stats here. They've got Rage 2, which means they deal extra damage, but then it wears off over time. So they start off angry, they get less angry as they go through your train. And our main boss is Chains the Sighted. So let's see. They're going to add an extra card, which is presumably a bad one, to our deck at the start of every turn. And yeah, that's about all we need to know there. It tells us the card details at the bottom there. It causes our pyre to take 3 damage if we keep it in our hand at the end of turn. You'll see. Now, there's trials available. Do we want to increase the difficulty of this fight to get an extra reward? Yes, I think we do. All the enemies will be a little bit stronger than normal. Quite a bit stronger, actually, because they've normally got 1 strength and we're sending them up to 5, but we'll deal with it. So, is the mallet going to... Yep, the mallet popped one of them. So, 25% chance. There were 4 of them. We got 1 of them. The numbers make sense. Now I'm thinking we'll put the sentient on the top floor for a couple of reasons. One is that these guys have got rage, and that's going to wear off as they advance up the train. So by the time they get to us, they'll be dealing less damage. 2, it gives us a chance to throw a bunch of restores on our champion and start healing them up. Regen causes them to heal at the end of turn, so it restores 2 health now and then 1 health again after that. So that means 2 applications of the 15 damage from the enemy unit. So that's pretty cool. What's going to happen basically is we're going to play our units, then the enemy units are going to attack. Any of ours that's still standing will attack back, and then any enemies still standing move up a floor, and it happens again. Top floor is our pyre. If the enemies destroy it, we lose the game. It's currently got 80 health, and it does deal 20 damage, so it's pretty respectable at finishing anything off that reaches it, but hopefully nothing's going to reach it. So we'll put a trained steward behind sentient just to give a bit of extra damage on that floor. We can toss out a torch to deal 2 damage to one of these. You'll see their health value changes from 1 to 0 because that shows what will happen if we unleash the spell. And there you go. And then because we've got that left, we could put a regen on. Not really necessary. It won't have any effect by the time the enemies get to us. So, no one attacked because no one was on the same floors as anyone. And everyone moved up a floor. And some new guys came in. None of them got blown up by the mallet, which is a shame. Now, this has also appeared, a collector. Basically a little bonus creature pops up every now and again. You kill it in the first turn after it appears, and you get gold. And that's going to happen because collectors don't attack, because they've got 0 attack basically, and they resolve feature, they flee from battle after combat, so all it's going to do is try and run away with a bunch of gold. But because we've got a trained steward up here, that's going to attack the collector, deal more than the 1 health that it's got in terms of damage, and therefore we'll get the gold. Now these guys are going to advance up after that. If I put a restore on here, well actually if I put a restore on here now, the collector will just die because it will take the 15 damage from the sentient's ability. But now at the start of next turn, more health will be healed. These guys will already be up there, so she'll finish the other one off with the regen. So let's thin down this layer a bit. If I play any other trained stewards, they're going to die. But if I don't play them, then when I get to the end of my deck, I'm going to shuffle it back round, and I'm going to get them again. And I don't want them again. So I'm just going to play out that trained steward. Oh, the regen happened at the end of turn, never mind. The principle was sound. Now it would work. I mean, that trained steward's already going to kill the clergyman, but even if it didn't, the regen would then pop and trigger. I'm learning as I go. I've played a lot of the beta, but things have changed, including this restore spell. Used to just be straight up heal 3, but this heal 2 now, then heal 1 later, plays in a lot better with a lot of the Awoken's effects, so it's nice. And here comes the boss. And both of his minions got blown up by the hammer, that's nice. That's good stuff. So, let's restore our sentient back to full health. Now I've got 2 stacks of regen, so it'll carry over a bit to next turn. And we'll just throw a torch at chains, because why not? So yeah, added the card to the top of the deck. If I don't play this card this turn, I'll take 3 damage. That's what the reserve keyword means. If it's still in your deck, you take damage. But the purge keyword means when you play it, it's completely removed from your deck. Oh yeah, can't play it on the bottom floor because the boss has frozen the bottom floor. Can't play anything else there now. He's going to work his way up. If he gets to the top and kills my pyre, we're doomed. So let's try and make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, it shouldn't, because we're doing 15 damage with each of our heals, so let's see. Yep, that's 15 damage. That's 15 more damage. Play that to get rid of it. So the boss will swing for 4. We'll swing back for 5. The boss will be down to 14. Then the regen will trigger, 15 more damage, the boss dies. If the boss were to survive, it's got relentless, so it would carry on attacking until everything on my side is dead. That's the main difference between boss characters and the regular characters. So, no attack, we attack back, the heal happens, death. Victory! Lovely stuff. We didn't take any damage. So, rewards, you always get some coins. You generally get some card packs. We've got 1 of the Awoken and 1 of the Hellhound. And then we've got our bonus reward that we got for completing the trial. So, Wildwood Sap adds extra regen. That's nice because we can top that up with the restores and generally keep a good amount of regen on our sentient every turn to keep them nice and healthy while something behind them deals all the damage. Or we could restore health to it in a big chunk. I'd rather have the regen, I think. Not worried about the Vine Grasp because extra damage is nice, but we're okay. Now we could take in a Hellhound card as well. We could take Hidden Passage and then ascend units, so we can move them up a floor and then they go to the back of that floor. So we could put a bunch of tough units on the second floor, move them up, and they can all sit behind our Awoken. Let's try it. Now, what might we want behind the Awoken? Well, the Animus of Will deals multi-strike, so it attacks 3 times in a turn, so it's got basically 9 damage. 3 times 3. That seems pretty good. Or we could take a Husk Hermit, which sweeps, which attacks all enemy units, so that can help pick off guys at the back. It's kind of useful as a ground floor unit, so you can take out pesky little things before they cause trouble, like enemies that add curses to your deck or whatever. Scourges, I should say. Or we can take the Thorned Hollow, which is a big meaty frontliner. And every time it regenerates or gets health back, it gains spikes, which makes it pretty deadly for opponents to attack. Spikes 2, for just activating it once, will give you 2 damage every time an enemy hits you, and that can ramp up pretty quickly. But we're already planning on throwing a lot of our healing on the top floor, so let's take the Animus of Will. Now, between each floor you've got different choices that you can make. Going all the way down to the 9th Circle of Hell, where we're fighting the final boss, Seraph. But for the moment, we've got choices ahead of us. Do we go to our left and increase the power of our units and possibly get another unit of the Hellhound clan? Or do we go right and forge some of our spells and then gain an Awoken unit? Well, do we have any spells that are particularly exciting yet? Not terribly so, but the Animus of Will is pretty exciting, so let's see what we can do to buff that up. Perhaps. Upgrade with Endless, so when a unit dies it returns to the top of your draw pile and you can play it again. Strength Stone would be very nice. Instead of doing 3 times 3, 13 times 3 is 39 damage, sounds pretty good. But let's take a quick look at the units. So the Horned Warrior, it's extremely powerful, but it's also very weak, so that'd be a nice little thing to move up behind our awoken on the top floor. But then the branded warrior, when it kills something, applies Rage 3 to all friendly units, which increases their damage. We saw that earlier on the clergyman. And given as I'm trying to put as many things as I can on the top floor together, I think the branded warrior is a better bet. So I'll take it. Now I could apply a strength stone to our Animus of Will, and I shall. Now I could re-roll the shop, get different options. I wouldn't be able to afford the big one though if I did that, but I might be able to get more strength on the Animus. But then again, I could also just wait for another shop later, keep my 130 gold. I could also remove cards from my deck here at an increasing cost. We will be looking to remove cards from our deck because every trained steward that's in the deck, it's a chance of drawing that trained steward instead of one of our better cards that we're looking for. So, what have we got in fight number 2? These guys will add extra cards to the top of our draw pile. They're just high health, low damage. And the main guy's got spikes, so every time we hit him we'll be taking damage. That's kind of a pain for our Animus of Will. Mark of invasion at the start of battle, enemy units appear on each floor. We're setting up on the top floor anyway, so let's take that. That means we'll have a bunch of clergymen to deal with, but we've also got the mallet taking some of those out for us. Hopefully. Well, we've got 3 on the top floor, 4 on the second, so we've got 1 of them taken out with the mallet. That's not amazing. So let's take that guy out with a heal. Put the branded warrior behind. And throw out a trained steward on the bottom floor. No, let's throw out a torch and take out that guy that's going to add scourges to the deck. So we take a bit of damage there. But then we got the kills. 1 from the branded warrior. So extra rage. Oh, nice. The collector got taken out by the mallet. That's always fun. So we could add regen to sentient. That seems useful. And then we can play an Animus of Will. You'll notice the floors have got 5 capacity slots available for creatures. The Animus of Will takes up 2, so she couldn't be played up there because that would be 6 out of 5, which is no good. But with Ascension or Dissension, boop, up she goes. We've gone over capacity, but that's fine. You can have up to 7 creatures this way. And now everything on the top floors is going to die. So that's 1 down. Rage applies as well, so we get even more damage on that multi-striker. Yeah, we've got Purge in the deck. A Scourge that we can purge. But now we really want to keep this sentient alive and accidentally kill that in the process. So that's just going to sit in the deck until we play it. So its main effect is it's stopping us drawing other cards that are more useful. No more of that, thank you very much. Nice, mallet comes in clutch again. Now that's going to allow the branded warrior to get the kill there because Forged Disciple will swing for 2. The sentient will swing back for 6 because she's now got damage because of the rage applied by the branded warrior. Then the branded warrior will swing and apply rage again to all the units, which will be just lovely. Don't really need to, well, I could, yeah, I'll get the trained steward out of the deck. I was going to say I don't really need to with only 2 turns left, but I am about to shuffle, so lovely, exactly as planned. And up comes the boss. Move trained steward up, get even more meat on the top floor. Why not? And a bit more regen, just to keep that topped off at 6, so she's getting back 6 health at the end of this turn, then 5 at the end of next, then 4 and so on. Another torch there just because I can. Let's see, if we got the boss dead already? We have. So, boss is dead. This is just icing on the cake, really. And I may as well play that for the fun of it. And another boss down. Let's bump the speed up just a smidge. Lovely. You'll see the Animus died in the process because of the spikes, but such is the perils of spikes. Speaking of, do we add our own spikes to our sentient? So that every time she takes damage, she's dealing a bit back? Or do we add a steel enhancer? And then we can generally buff our units, so even if the spike's coming in, we can get extra health every turn, or every time we play it. It's just nice protection against both sweeps cards that can hit everybody, and spikes, both of which I'm vulnerable to with these high damage, low health units. Or I could take another Wildwood Sap. I think I'll take a Steel Enhancer. We'll see how that plays out for us. Now, March of Shields for extra armor, which is basically extra health points, but can't be healed. You can just apply more armor. A spell which breaks through armor and shields and just hits enemies straight away. Or an imp that I could just pop down and then deals 5 damage to all enemy units for a cost of 1. Now these imps are interesting because they're units, they've got health and damage and whatnot, but they technically don't count as units for certain things. What I mean by that is, like, for example, one of the rules of the game is that you'll always draw your champion on turn 1, and you'll always draw one of your other units as well. So you've always got some starting point. But things like imps and, say, what's the equivalent? The channelers from the Awoken that we've not seen yet. They're what I like to call support units. They'll never be drawn in those positions, and they don't always count for effects that trigger when units do. They're kind of like halfway between units and spells in a strange way. But either way, I'm not taking it. I'll take the 10 gold for just skipping those choices. You don't always need to add cards to your deck, and if you did always add cards to your deck, you'd just end up with a diluted mess of a deck that would be very difficult to get anything done with. Now we could take an extra artifact. That one's been pretty useful for us so far. Or we could pop to the Merchant of Magic. Maybe see if we can get some tasty upgrades on our Steel Enhancer or our Wildwood Sap. We could get an extra unit that way. Do we really need an extra unit right now? Might be nice to have a big tanky boy for the second floor just to protect everyone else until I can move them up. But, let's go to the Merchant of Magic and see what's on offer. Greater spell to gain hold over. So it comes back to your hand after every time it's played. Let's upgrade Steel Enhancer with that. Let's upgrade it with the Emberstone, make it 0 cost. And we've now got a spell that we can play every turn for free. And then it returns to our hand. It's amazing. This is the lovely thing about the shops in this. You can just choose something that you like, whether it's a unit or a spell, and just buff it and make it the thing that you can build your deck around. Love it. So the Historian has arrived, and he's offering us a choice of 2 different cards or an artifact. So it's all gold related. This will help you get a big chunk of gold in one go. That can help you get gold here and there, and it's also a damage spell, which is never bad, although we've got torches that also cover that. And your pyre gets +1 for every 10 gold you have, so should any enemies get to the top floor, they'd be taking an extra 19 damage at the moment. It's very early on, so we're only on the third floor. We've got a long way to go to the boss, so I think we can make our money on petty theft pretty effectively. The smaller enemies do get bigger as you advance down the floors, but early on they're generally 1 or 2 health, so we should be able to one-shot them no trouble. Do we re-roll the shop and look for something nice for our Wildwood Sap, perhaps? Or we could make Petty Theft better, actually, because that's a spell. Upgrade a spell with 20 magic power and consume. Double stack. We could put that on the Wildwood Sap to increase it from regen 5 to regen 10. Really helpful against bosses and whatnot. That's not a bad call. Or we could put 20 magic power and consume on, say, our Petty Theft, so it's always going to kill things, but I can generally only use it once per fight. Extra 50 gold per fight. Worthwhile. Allows me to just delete a unit pretty much. Could be fun. Let's give it a go. Maybe later I can remove the consume as well, that'd be nice. And then, yeah, let's spend all our gold. Let's go hog wild. Regen 10, delicious. So, we've got a boss. Heaven's disgraced professor has improved his explosive inventions, creating better protection through technological enhancements. In other words, he makes bombs, and he's going to fly around and throw bombs at us. Now, constructed explosives explode twice. Each of the bosses has an extra effect every time you fight them, so he'll always be throwing bombs around, but sometimes they'll deal damage twice, sometimes they'll have a damage shield, things like that. So you never quite know what you're going to get. So these are all little chumps that gain weaker as they rise up, so let's put the sentient on the top floor so we've got time to prepare. Do I need to add Wildwood Sap just yet? I might play it the next time it comes through the deck, and I might get rid of a couple of these just because I can. So, let's see, he's dropped a bomb, there you go. So it just goes off at the start of turn, deals 10 damage, but because of his particular mutator, I guess, he's dealing like 10 damage twice, so not great. But we do have Animus of Will in our hidden passage, so let's start overstacking that top floor. Now, who do we enhance? I've got no reason to suspect there's any sweeping or spikes in this fight, so we'll just enhance the one with the most attacks per turn. So that 3 extra attack is actually 9 extra damage each turn. Now these two are coming up next turn. One of them will get taken out by the Branded Warrior, which will start the Rage Train. Do I drop a Train Steward just to watch it die? Well, it won't die this turn, but I'm not really concerned about its health. Let's see, and yeah, the Branded Warrior still gets the kill, because until he gives Rage for the first time to the Sentient, she's not dealing any damage. So, let's enhance the Animus again. I forgot that it had holdover and I'm going to see it every turn. It's amazing. May as well ping off one of these bad boys just because they deal a lot of damage and they've got no health. And then let's start... Oh, I've beansed it, haven't I? I've stopped the Branded Warrior because I wanted to start getting some regen on my own. Sentient. Oh well, I've delayed one attack from the Branded Warrior. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Oh goodness. Now here comes the bomb. Which is actually going to kill my Sentient. Unless I kill it first. So I'll just kill it first, I think. 22 damage. So I could drop that. Get my gold. They're all getting whizzed to the top floor because of this lady at the back. That's going to be fine. Let's just play out Train Steward and see what's what. Oh, did the Branded Warrior not actually get the kill? God blimey, Governor. Well, there's so many enemies up there now, he's bound to get one. Yeah, everything up here is dying. That's what we like. Play another Train Steward out. May as well move one up, because we can make this top floor a bit more crowded just yet. Kill her just for the funsies. should have healed. Oh well. I've got an extra turn to do some of that healing. I could use a bigger heal, but yeah, here we go. Here's my Wildwood Sap. That's just spiffing. Now she's got 11 regen, so she's going to be at full health by the time anything reaches her. And extra damage still for our Animus. And extra damage again for our Animus because it's delicious. And there she goes. The Branded Warrior didn't pick up many kills this fight, but if it hasn't needed to, there you go, that's fine. Toss a fireball at Daedalus just because we can. Not a lot going on there, just a couple of quick kills. And here we go. So we've got the kill. Lovely. So yeah, she's dealing the 15 damage every turn because of the regen popping off. And Animus is just dealing 100 damage every turn. Lovely. And Animus gets the kill. So that's a flawless boss. 75 coins, a rare pack, and another unit, and one of the major enhancements. So let's take a look at what we have. Now I'm building up quite a few creatures in this deck, and I'm not playing them all early. Well, I suppose I've just got loads of shitty trained stewards, but I still play the Channel Song and make something better. Restore all friendly units to full health. It's only really one at the front that's taking damage. Spreading Spores is amazing though. Regen 2, Spikes 2. Let's make this a Spreading Spores deck, because why not? Now, do we want another Animus of Will, or is that going to be... I don't think we do. I don't think we need any more creatures now. This is now a Spreading Spores deck, and you'll see why that's amazing. So, am I going to cost reduce the Spreading Spores, and therefore do I want more draw every turn? Or am I going to do something else with it, like give it double stack but still have it have a cost, and therefore I'm going to want more energy every turn? I don't need extra capacity because I'm already cheating the capacity rules by throwing everything up to the top floor. So I think I might take the energy now and then probably card draw later after the second boss. Let's see. Now I want my magic shop. My next magic shop's there. Cool. So, do I duplicate a card? Do I get another unit at the same time and get some cash? I'm going to be spending that cash in the magic store, so I don't want to spend cash in the merchant to steal. I'm not desperately urgent to remove the trained stewards at this stage, and I don't need the health, so let's go this way. No, I don't really need either of those. That's fine. Let's see what upgrade our champion gets now. So I can stay on the explosive line and deal extra damage every time, or I can add spikes and still deal the same 15 damage, but then every time they attack me they'll be taking 10 damage anyway. I don't think I need initial spikes because I'm adding spikes and regen, so let's stay with explosive for now. Dupe any card except my champion. Do I dupe my Animus of Will? Do I dupe Petty Theft? And get two 22 damage cards? Get 100 gold every fight? Or do I dupe Steel Enhancer? And make everything even more awesome? Let's dupe Petty Theft. Extra gold's always welcome. Right, who's this boy? So he's going to add Scourges to the top of my deck at the end of every turn, which will deal 5 damage. That's tasty. These guys are awful and I hate them. Every time you cast a spell on their floor they gain extra armor, and they're just high damage, low health. Non-boss enemy units get +6. That's really bad news for them, but I can take them out with my fireballs and whatnot. Those guys are just a pain in the ass to kill, so Yeah, they'll deal more damage once to my pyre. Eh, mm. I don't need it. I don't need the extra 150 gold. I'm getting 100 gold from petty theft every fight. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So, top floor. May as well pay theft now. And you can see he's got 10 armor, so he's already on 70 health. He's a big, strong boy. So, still got the Animus of Will in the deck. Other than that, it's just Trained Steward. So I'm playing that Trained Steward there. Don't want to play that because it will deal 2 damage to him, but then he gains 10 armor, so it's not grand. Oh, nice. Nice. 5 damage, 75 gold. Yeah, there we go. I've got 100 gold. All is well. So let's pop her back there. I might actually take this guy out, you know, just about. And then, can't hurt to throw a bit of regen on there. Lovely. Nice, another one down. So, he's dead because he is taking how much damage? 14. And she's healing, which is dealing the other 30. So he's taking 44 damage, so I could play one spell on this floor and he'd go up to 26 life plus 10 armor, 36, so he'd still... Yeah, I'm going to play a Wildwood Sap. And actually I'm just going to move her up. And now he's taking loads of extra damage, so let's throw that on as well. Yeah, I forgot, actually 30 damage every time from the heals. Yeah, all is well. Now though, now is where the top floor gets spicy. Oh no, she's already dead, lovely. Or he's already dead. Clip Guardians. Let's get these out the deck because they're horrible. Burn her up. And 2 damage on him, because why not? Should be getting Spreading Spores in our next hand, because it's lurking at the bottom of the deck. Not awful, because it's still 2 mana, so it copies itself. That's the main thing it does. It's not amazing right now, because it's still 2 mana, so I'm just going to have loads of 2 mana spells. And I can play 2 of them every turn, because I've got 4 Ember available. I keep calling it mana, because of various other collectible card games and such. Enough rambling, let's throw down Trained Steward. But yeah, Spreading Spores is going to copy itself every time I play it, so sooner or later my deck will just be full of them and it'll be amazing. So yeah, that doesn't affect things there, that guy still dies. Fireballs on these guys just because I can. And then fireball on the boss just because I can. So I'm dealing 2 damage every time they hit me now because I've got 2 on the spikes. That number's going to get bigger once we've upgraded Spreading Spores a bit. Let's play that. Let's send up a Trained Steward just because we can keep him alive. And throw another torch on the boss. And there's another Spreading Spores. So kept our regen up nicely, we're at 15, and we're dealing 4 damage every time the boss hits us. That's pretty cool. And there's an extra 60 damage just from some piss out little stores. Love it. And the boss dies. Now, we're going to have to be picky about what we take, because the deck's already at 23 cards. The more cards in the deck, the longer it takes to get back to my Spreading Spores. That's not grand. So although Pyre Shards is cool, I like it a lot, and Cycle of Life is cool. Cycle of Life's really cool now, adding 4 spikes and 10 health. Did Did it do that? No, it did something similar in the beast, so never mind. Either way, I'm not taking any of those. It's not an armor deck, so we don't need any of this really. You'll often find your allied clan pack, you just skip past some of the cards because they're just not relevant to you, but when you do find things that you weren't expecting that work well, it can be lovely. So what's in the concealed caverns first of all? It's the Scourge event. Let's see. Are they Scourges? Blights. So yeah, Scourges are kind of negative cards that your enemies will add into your deck that disappear at the end of that turn, like the ones in the last fight that would have dealt 5 damage to me if I hadn't played them. Blights are similar, but they generally stay in your deck for good. And there's not really any blights in the game outside of this event mostly that I know of. So each of these gives us an artifact that's cool, but it also gives us the other cards which are bad. So 3 calcified ember, you can purge those, which means they just disappear from your deck altogether. And each time you play them, it deals 100 damage to the front enemy unit. So that's 300 damage to front enemy units, but friendly units get +1 for every blight in your deck. So you've only got 3 from this event, so that's +3 attack. And you've got a bunch of cards that you can't play every few turns. When you play a first blight card each turn, restore 5 pyre health. So these are kind of like those Scourges we saw before. If you keep them in your hand, then you take damage. But the pyre health's full anyway. I'm not that fussed. Let's leave those behind. Now, the moment of truth. Let's see what's in this shop. Double stack and -1. So we definitely take -1 to make our spreading spores cheaper. Now, do we re-roll the shop and put another -1 on it to make it cheap? Cheaper still, but then we're limited by the amount of cards that we draw every turn. Or do we put double stack on it and then potentially miss out if we get more than 4 of them in a turn because we haven't got the ember to play them? But it does give it regen 4 and spice 4. And these effects go onto the copied cards. All my copies will still be 1 and they'll still add 4/4. Let's do it. Do I want to re-roll the shop, see what else is there? Because I'm getting plenty of cash from my petty theft. I don't really want to... Is it worth it? What's coming up? We're nearly at the point... Yeah, we're starting to get artifact shops coming up. I think I'll hold on to my cash until I see what's going on. Although, am I going that way on this floor? That side's got cash. Can boost my units and can remove 2 cards. That'd be nice. Get 2 trained stewards out of the deck. And I may not need the pyre health. Let's just do the fight, see if we need the pyre health or not. Then we'll have a better idea of where we stand. Enemy units enter spell shield 2. We're not really worried about spells, direct damage spells. We're mostly buffing our creatures, so that should be fine. Who are we up against? Healers, I guess? Oh no, they've got sweep. And they gain rage when they kill things. Sweep is an issue because they deal 3 damage on sweep. Which means they kill my Animus of Will pretty quickly and then the Branded Warrior shortly after that. But I can't really do anything about that because I've got 65 health as well. We're just going to have to deal with it. Oh, it's those big boys that have got sweep. Those are just, yeah, those are healers. And then our main guy, the Crystal Cloak. Stealth 8. So they can't be targeted in combat for every stealth that they've got. They're going to have 8 stealth on the bottom floor, 7, then 6 by the time they get to the top floor. So they're basically going to get 6 free attacks against us, where they can't be hit in combat, but they can still take spell damage. Should be fine. Although some of that spell damage is negated by the fact that they've all got spell shield 2. Let's see how it goes. Oh, and Petty Theft's going to be largely useless because it doesn't have piercing on it. C'est la vie. Ah, you would be on that floor, wouldn't you, Collector? But, ping, 125 gold in one shot. Delicious. So that guy deals 3, he's the sweeper, isn't he? That guy deals 6. So do I play the Animus of Will now? No, because they get swept and they die. Obviously. Let's burn out some torches on that guy just to get rid of the spell shield and move on. This is going to be a tricky fight, actually. I was aware of the risk from sweep, but I haven't got the steel enhancer yet, so there it is. Lovely, now I should be able to keep my branded warrior alive by playing it on him every turn. It's a bit of spikes on there. And lovely, with that heal, everything's dying. Let's burn off some spell shield on you, because you're next in line. So, why not? Let's put the regen on nice and early. Steel enhancer again, just to keep him alive when the next sweepers come through. Do I play both my train stewards on this floor? Only one of them would die. Well, none of them would die immediately, and I need to save room just in case the 5th card I draw next turn, because that's 4 of them. But the 5th card I draw next turn could be the Animus. I'd love it if it was, because then I'd have the Animus and Hidden Passage together. That's still not dying. Yeah, I'm still not dealing any damage because I've got the Animus. But, so you can see now what happens when they get to the pyre. Because these guys are going to biff me for 5 damage, and then 5 more damage. So we're down to 100 health. Oh yeah, I forgot the 5th card I was going to draw was always going to be the Steel Enhancer because it's got holdover, so it reduces my draw every turn. Right, you can go up. Don't know why, really. Let's see, did that deal damage to spell shield? Maybe it did. Interesting. Ah well, we're in trouble. So, yeah, the branded warrior wants to kill here. Yep, that's the rage, that's lovely. And then, fuck it, let's throw those out, and we'll hopefully be able to do something now that they haven't got spell shield. Hopefully. Let's see. Right, there we go. Animus, Hidden Passage just in time. Still haven't seen a lot of these spreading spores. I'm only up to 8 spikes. This deck's still too fat. So they've got 6 stealth left, but they're still going to die. Lovely. So, bit of extra damage just because I can. So yeah, it's just taking damage at the moment purely from the spikes and the regen. And now everyone else has joined in the fun because stealth has worn off. And that's all she wrote. Wildwood Custodian, this is another of these support units I was talking about that doesn't attack but just does something. Draw 1 each turn. Pretty nice with spreading spores. Could move it up to the top floor. Why not? I know I don't need to be adding any more to this deck right now. But there we go. Now am I going to the Hellvent to get rid of 2 cards? Or am I going to trinkets? Because I've got enough gold to remove a bunch of cards. Let's see what the event is. This is why I took the event before taking the pyre health. I can break off some of my pyre health. And yes, interesting. I can trade my pyre health for coins, either a little for a little, or a lot for a lot. But petty theft, purge petty theft, get 175 coins. Why not? We're getting later in the run, petty theft's getting less valuable. Yoink! Delicious. So, I was going to spend my pyre health there, getting the coins. But now I'll just take it anyway, because why not? It's nice. Now, what have we got? Grant 4 stacks of armor. We're not using armor. Deal 2 damage whenever an enemy unit moves between floors. That's really valuable on lower levels. Gets less so when you're up around this stage. Friendly units get +3. That helps us against sweep and spikes. I'll take that and I'll re-roll. Still no spike artifact. That's a shame. Don't need a bunch of energy ember on the first turn. Friendly units enter with rage 3. It does help kickstart my branded warrior on the top floor. Friendly units enter with armor 5. That only really helps the sentient, because no one else is really getting attacked. Let's remove some trained stewards, shall we? They're not doing anything, nor are torches really. At this stage, I may as well get rid of a couple of torches, because at least the trained stewards I can play them and then they're done. The torches are coming back every shuffle. Let's burn all of my money. There we go. That was a removal fest, and now we've got boss 2, Fell, the Wingers of Light. So, she will place statues on each floor, which will just generally get in the way and stop enemies from getting hit. They've all got spell shield 5, and every time she visits a floor, she might give extra armor to her units. So let's see how this plays out. We're going to set up on the top floor. The answer is probably. Yeah, these dudes deal damage when they die. That's okay, I guess. So, sentient. Animus of Will behind. Can stick the custodian in there, so we're drawing 1 extra card every turn. And then, thanks to our healing explosions, we've already killed that statue in 1 turn. Lovely. So, Branded Warrior and Hidden Passage in this hand would be nice, and there they both are. That's fantastic. Take you out with, oh no, take you out with the Petty Theft, because you guys deal damage when you die. So I'd rather you die on this floor than up on this floor and dealing extra damage. We could throw a Restore on, but we do also want to get rid of Trained Stewards. Although we're not getting rid of the Trained Steward this turn, but it's cool. We don't care about the Trained Stewards, is my point. So, now the fun begins. Regen, 4 more regen, 4 spikes, and extra damage on the Animus. And then why not? Branded Warrior's not going to really do anything. The Animus coming out first means they're in front in the queue, so they're just going to get all the kills before Branded really can. It's not the end of the world. Ooh, 20 armor. Fell. Awful woman. Angel. Probably a woman still. Probably uses female pronouns. Now an extra 10. Oh, it's 10 every time, so now she's hit these guys 3 times. That's just mean. That's really mean. So we're not actually taking out the backliner. I cry. Although, now we're taking out the backliner. Those explosions, enough damage, all is well. Unless I cast a torch on this floor, in which case he'll get 10 armor back, and not great. Boop. Just say hello to that guy, warn him what's up ahead. And then yeah, that just plays out. We're all about the top floor, we don't give a stuff what happens on the others. Although having said that, we will rescue Train Steward because he's been a faithful servant to us in this fight. Now, lots of spreading spores. There we go. 90 damage. So, how much damage are we dealing? That's dealing 57, 69, 74. So 104 because of the 30 there. So we can play another spell on this floor without allowing the clipped reflector to live. Lovely. Big boys with little boys behind. And we're just getting more and more armor. That's lame. But yeah, now we're just playing spreading spores until we win, basically. And we'll drop that one there, as ever. And we'll play that just to get an extra bit of damage in for the fun of it. And we'll ping you before Fel starts putting any armor on you. And up she comes again to give yet more armor to this floor because, well, because she hates me and she's trying to beat me. That's fair enough. So yeah, let's just throw the stores on, get all that regen, and deal all that damage. Oh, it's beautiful. The whole thing's amazing. I think we could probably go up to ultra speed now. I probably won't speed it up to super duper super fast speed, but ultra speed should be fine. Let's see, I think you guys should have already got the gist by this point of what's going on. We don't really want every video to be 90 minutes long. So, spreading spores, spreading spores, spreading spores. Oops, I pressed the wrong key. The first time I try using keyboard instead of mouse to select the cards I play, and it all goes wrong. So, let's do it the old way. Drag and drop. Not that it makes any difference, we clearly won this fight by a country mile. She deals it 2 lots of 9 damage. And then everything hits her back. Tasty. And down she goes. Oh, yes, stitching card. I was going to play a bit off camera until I had unlocked these guys for my second video, but ooh, nom nom nom. Now, we could get another spreading spores, but it's just not as good as our current one. We don't need anything. And now, do we go draw, get more spreading spores per hand? We'd be able to play up to 4 of them per turn. We're currently only playing like 2, maybe 3, because we're just not drawing them that often. So we could get more energy, but then more ember, but we wouldn't be able to play more spreading spores necessarily because we don't have them in the hand to play. So this time I will take draw. So, let's see. At some point I'll have to start looking ahead a bit more and planning my routes, but this is fine for the moment. We're not even in the proper difficulty settings yet where it gets harder and harder every time. Do we need any more magic shops? We've already buffed our spreading spores to the max. Do we duplicate one of our spreading spores just to get accelerated even? Let's do it. Now we've got 2 of them running through the first cycle of the deck. And that's a good thing. Rejuvenate deals 60 damage to the front enemy unit. That's a lot. And we're going to be dealing that damage every turn because of all the regen that we're stacking. So is that additional 30 damage every turn better than the spikes? It will be unless we've got loads of people attacking us at the same time. So we'll stick with explosive for now. I will often diversify and mix up the champions. I think they're generally strongest when you take 2 from one tree and 1 from another, but not right now. Non-boss enemy units heal all health when they move up a floor. With all about the top floor, that should be fine. What have we got here? Multi-strike. Gilded Wings are a pain in the bum with their 130 health. That guy's got trample. So when he attacks, any extra damage he'll deal to the enemies behind. But if he's killed the sentient, we're basically boned. Let's do it. Let's have fun. Ramp up those gold levels. Let's see. Oh, we've got them all on one turn. But we've also got the hidden passage. That is absolutely magnificent. We're going to take that bad boy out. On we go.
Mic off. Mic on.
And now, oh, we got the Wildwood Custodian, but we can't play it on the top floor. We can't play it anywhere unless we want it to die horribly. So let's just get the old Spore Train on the go. A bit of the sap. And another restore just to keep that regen topped off. I love this change now that's added regen to the restores. It's mint.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alright then, on we go. 121, we're not quite killing him. Never mind, scratch that, we're killing him. And so we'll throw out train stewards because they're worthless trash. May as well start pinging that boy. What does he do? 5 damage on death. So yeah, we can ping him before the top floor. It's not meaningful in this fight because we've got a lot of margin of error. But it could be when we get to the higher difficulty levels. Now we can actually rescue the old train steward again. I'm sorry, train steward, I didn't mean to call you a worthless piece of trash, even though you are 90% of the time. So, that boy down. I'll leave the train steward in the deck for now. That's actually... Oh, is that guy actually getting through? That's a lot of damage. How did he get through with... Oh, of course, they're healing up to full when he gets... No. It's fine. We took a bit of damage. We're not going to take any more. And we've got loads of gold in exchange. It's fine. These bloody gilded wings, though. Hate them. Now. Still can't play the extra card per turn guy. Don't need him though. It'd be nice to have him, of course, but hardly necessary. Let's keep kicking ass. So yeah, same old, spreading spores. This time I will get that train steward out because I haven't forgotten. And we're still not finishing off that. Now we are. Bloody gilded wings, they're nearly as bad as those clip reflectors that just keep gaining armor. Oh, they're the worst. Anyway. Doop. And why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. 10 capacity out of 5. Maths. One more time. I mean, we've already got the kill at this point. They appear to have decreased the amount of time it takes to play spreading spores, which is nice. I complained about that. I didn't complain. I provided feedback about that in the public beta. And maybe other people did too, because it looks like they've actually listened. And eventually the boss dies. So, 400 bonus gold, that's a lot of gold. No extra cards please. We are a spreading spore deck and we don't want your extra cards. Last chance to spend our money. Now, Hellvent. Very nice, we get rid of 2 more non-spreading spores cards. Yeah, let's go to Hellvent first. Get rid of 2 train stewards because I don't like them. We've got 2 shops to choose from. Probably don't need out from the merchant steel. upgrade a unit quick so it attacks before the enemies. Necessary? Not really. Let's see what's in the old trinket shop. Units are cheaper. I don't play lots of units. Only play a second one during a turn, gain 3 energy. Energy's not a problem. Pirate extra armor, not necessary. Spells gain an extra upgrade slot. If we weren't on the 8th of 9 floors, literally just about to fight the final boss, that could be useful. But we are, so it's not. 50% chance to swap your front and back enemy units when they enter your train. How useful is that? That means sometimes you'll have a small boy in front of a big boy. It's not worth it, really. We're generally attacking everyone on the floor because of our spikes and whatnot. What units can we upgrade? I can upgrade the Branded Warrior with Rage 7, which might allow him to get more. So we've got Rage 11, so he's now got 32. Yeah, he's adding an extra 22 damage on turn 1. So he's now got 32 damage on turn 1. That's pretty cool. Oh, Thornstone. Upgrade a unit with spikes 4. That's nice. I can make the Branded Warrior larger. Because... But I can make the Animus of Will larger. That's so much damage. That's delicious. Let's do it. And let's just give the Branded Warrior an attack boost. And let's purge some torches. So aside from like 2 cards, the deck's pretty much green. I've got rid of most of the Hellhorn stuff because it's just not been required. And on we go, the final boss. Seraph is temperate, so she's going to reduce the strength of our units. Which, did it tell us up here? It doesn't tell us specifically there what she's going to do, but there we go. Friendly units enter with SAP 3, so they get reduced attack for a few turns. It decreases, but then she'll try and add some more, and on we go. Probably not an issue. Nice. Gotta love the way that hammer's been blowing people up all game for us. So, Branded Warrior behind. Sneak in our Custodian. Spreading Spores. Do I need Wildwood Sap immediately? I mean, Petty Theft can just come out of the deck really, but let's put Wildwood Sap on, because I can maintain the regen just through restores, so I'm not going to lose the benefits by playing it early. Seraph tried to create an extra unit on this floor and failed miserably because of my hammer. Spreading Spores. Let's not forget to get the Animus up to the top floor and boost her up. With a large stone, she's now sticking almost through the top of the floor, which is absolutely dandy. And now we're dealing 165 damage to Seraph already. On turn 2, that's pretty fantastic. Sapped us again before moving down. That ability that the bosses do can be used before or after they move. So you can't predict that they're not going to hit a floor with it. In this case it's unfortunate that she's hit this floor twice, so everyone's damage is greatly reduced, but we can deal with that. I mean, the fact that we're absolutely exploding people with these healing spells is helping. And a lot of these little boys are just getting wiped out. It's brilliant. Hidden Passage is now unnecessary because we've got nothing left in the deck, really. But we can easily just play 4 Spreading Spores. Because look at that, we've already got like 39 regen, 28 spikes. Nothing's getting through us now. Let's see, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Now it's just a matter of ending turns, really. So yeah, there's a lot of different strategies in this game, depending on the clans you choose and the order that you choose them in. Not every Awoken Hellhorn deck will play like this at all. The next one might not have spikes at all. And the other way around, the red-green rather than green-red decks are definitely going to play differently. So there's a whole host of combinations of clans to look forward to. The next one that we've unlocked earlier on, the Stygian Guard. I know they're all about spell sling and dealing damage over time with frostbite. Oh, so we let that guy get through? No, we haven't. Lovely. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they synergize with the red and green clans that I'm pretty familiar with. So let's close this out. Oops. A little bit dodgy on the drag and drop at times with the Awoken, possibly because she's got a massive hitbox. Or she's got a massive sprite and then not such a big hitbox maybe. But yeah, here we go. Lovely. All the spores. And then that guy's only taking 62. Curious. I'm actually going to take 10 damage, I think. Ooh, I took 20 damage because he... I guess that's because of his harvest ability. He was just getting extra armor back and it wasn't pretty. But now everything's dead. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, bam. And Animus of Will. She's amazing. 6,300. And down we go. Haven't really explained the plot at any stage, but this train has been carrying the last remaining pyre of Hell. Hell having frozen over and become under assault by the wind of heaven. And we have just delivered the pyre back to the frozen heart and relit the fires once more. And that is what you call a victory. Covenants have been unlocked. These are the extra difficulty levels which occur after you've beaten the base game, basically. So, Covenant level 1 is an interesting one. We'll take a quick look at it momentarily. We've unlocked the Razor Sharp Edge for the Awoken. Very nice. And Priory's Cloak, so whenever units are healed they can deal damage through that. Again, tying into the healing themes of the Awoken. For the Hellhorn, we saw a few imps through that run. We've now unlocked a card which allows you to sacrifice them for big damage to an enemy unit. And the Unbroken Horn, so they can conserve ember between turns and quickly build up a massive pile of it. The Logbook. So we've got 3 levels in the first 2. We've unlocked the Stygian Guard. We're a long way off unlocking the Melting Remnant and the Umbra, but they'll come naturally in time. And we are currently at Covenant rank 1. We've beaten the game as the Awoken with the Hellhorn in tow. And we've unlocked a few cards for each of the clans. Cards that we've discovered, so we've seen them during a run. And there you can see the various cards. We've not seen the third type of Hornbreaker champion yet. I mean, on video we've not seen the Hornbreaker at all. He'll be coming. And so, that was a run of Monster Train. One quick note before we move on is the Covenants. Most games I'll be playing on Covenant 1. Enemies are stronger, and more importantly, add additional random cards to your starting deck. So let's say you were playing as the Stygian with the Awoken. You would start with 2 copies of a particular common card from the Stygian. You'd have 2 copies of a common from the Awoken, and then you'd have 1 copy of an uncommon card from the Stygian. So it can help you really plan out a run from the start. You might get a nice little combo and think, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be like a Spikes deck or something like that. It's good fun. But this has gone on far too long, and it's far too rambly. But hopefully it's left you with at least a vague idea of just what the heck Monster Train is. And hopefully I'll see you in the future for some more episodes. Thank you for watching.